All right, are we back? All right, and we're back. Oh, I'll wait for it to catch up. Hopefully it will. Oh, there's a little freezing happening. All right, I think we're good. I'm moving. I'm not sure why this happens. Well, I'm going to be having a new location starting next stream, I think. So hopefully this will be the last time there are connection issues. All right, we'll see. Looks like I'm still kind of choppy, but that's fine. All right, I gotta make a move here. So I'm getting attacked. I'm just gonna block with this. Go for the best. All right, looks like they are not doing anything else. So I'm just going to dome them for 5, draw a card, and also get the cave troll back. This cave troll is really doing a lot of work in this game. Cave troll usually isn't this good in random 30. All right, I think we're doing okay. And keep an eye on the stream. I'm not sure what to do in that when the stream gets choppy. All right, they're gonna play Rescue Griffin. Ooh, okay. They're being kind of snazzy. Well, I'm just gonna clear the board with this Angel of Death. This is an example of a time where spending their gold first really punished them, because I would have done the Angel of Death even if they hadn't played the Time Bender. But now it just is extra valuable. Probably also should have played the Cave Troll here. That's fine though. We know the opponent has a Psionic Assault in hand. Is there an official list of Disney princesses? Do they have the documentation passed down? Maybe there's like a website. I don't know if there is. All right, I'll take a look. Well, maybe these are just the ones that all live together. It is a little strange that Ariel's in there, though. Oh. Alright, I'm getting a little distracted. It's the opponent's turn. They used your 2 cards. Alright, or no, sorry, they banished the Angel of Death. Alright, that is a-okay. That's exactly a reason why I wouldn't want to play Cave Troll. It just happened to work out that way. Alright. We're gonna try and get in there. Let's see, right now we have 3, 7? Not really close to lethal. Well, maybe we are. Alright. Let's try and attack with this. If it doesn't get blocked, we could go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, it doesn't seem like a very good play. You don't really need the draw 2 either, so I guess I'll probably just play this and then Gladius and pass. I don't know. Alright. Sounds good to me. I like where this is headed. Now Smash and Burn plus Lash is looking a lot better. Yeah, I think it's difficult because when you look at a card, it seems like you have this really amazing effect, and then you have draw 2 cards. But just because of the resource system in Epic, drawing 2 actually can frequently be better than the other option. Not all the time, but like right now I definitely don't need to be drawing 2. But Alright, so I'm going to play the Smash and Burn to give +5 attack, and the Lash to give +4 attack and breakthrough. So right now this is 12 minus 3 blockers. He's going to be doing 9 to them. Alright, and then do I want another 1-cost card back? We don't have any 1-cost champions. Alright, that's fine. I'll play the Cave Troll. Might as well. If I need to discard 2, then Gladius can hit the dust. And probably whatever I recycle off of Watchful Gargoyle. Yeah, if you have more than 7 cards in hand, then you discard down. Oh, all champions are getting reanimated right now. That includes mine, but I just have Muse and White Dragon. I'm not sure if that's actually good for the opponent here, because so I'm actually just going to recall Slash. I think it'll be better than 2 random cards in this situation. And I'll play another Flyer, another Airborne champion, because let's just leave cards that kill my opponent, just in case I get lessons learned. Just because if our opponent needs to block all of these Airborne champions in order to not die here. Alright, so I guess we'll attack with Thrasher Demon first. It's weak to Ceasefire, but everything else, maybe urgent, maybe maybe a ooh, all right. Okay, so they're going to give all of their 0-cost champions Righteous, which means that they gain health whenever they deal damage. So we're going to see what the blockers are like. Now, one thing you can do to stop your opponent from gaining health from Righteous champions is you can remove your champion so that their champion doesn't deal damage. Interesting. So, kind of just want to let that one happen. But I suppose that one, yeah, I almost just want to just break all champions and then come back the next turn. Don't really need to win. It's a bit dangerous to try and attack through this, and I could get blown out by something. If I just break all right away, then my opponent doesn't get a chance to gain any health. So I'm just going to break all here. And then I don't have anything to get back. So I'm just going to, end my turn, discard the Ancient Chant and the Gladius. And if I draw the rest of my deck, then I can also win. Now we know these 4 cards are going to be in the bottom 4. So there's 2 cards we don't know about. Alright, I'm going to get rid of these 2. There's 2 cards you don't know about. So in Epic, if you draw the last card in your deck and then you draw another card, then you win, which is an alternate. I could play the Corpse Monger, but I don't actually have a card to get back. And I don't consider Gladius to be very valuable in my hand. But I do like Corpse Monger because when you're full on cards, 0-cost cards are a lot more valuable. I could just play it just to have something out there, but I can't lash it, so it would just die to the lash, so it's not too useful in that situation. Alright, Darkest Fire, got put back in the deck. Alright, yeah, let's just make our opponent banish a card from their hand by bouncing a token. So Temporal Shift returns a champion to its owner's hand, and the player banishes a card from their hand. So if you use it on a token, then they just lose a card in their hand. They don't get to choose the one that gets returned. Alright, so I think what we're going to do here is just try and end it with the Plague Zombies. So whenever a zombie I control dies, I deal 2 damage to each opponent. So let's just I mean, yeah, it's going to be really hard to not die from this. I'm going to group attack in case they have Ceasefire. Alright, yeah, that's going to be game. Good game, Marty Moose. Alright, I got a little distracted there. Okay. Well, it's doing a quick match. Hopefully we'll get some games with this constructed deck. So I can show you what an evil deck looks like. Maybe we'll make something else. It could be fun to try building something a little unusual. I feel like a lot of these archetypes that I've been constructing are pretty mainstream. The human tokens one I think is fringe. I don't see a lot of people playing human tokens, even though everyone kind of knows it exists. Alright, well, I've got a game. Alright, so I'm going first. Now, normally Loyalty 2 cards are cards that I'm not too excited about. So cards like Medusa and Angel of Death and Xanos are all hard to pull off in Random 30. I think this is constructed. That explains it. I was like, wow, this hand's great for Random 30. Alright, I forgot that we were on the evil deck plan. Good luck. Alright, you too. Alright, let's see. So I'm just gonna hold on to all of this, I think. Could just start off with a big Xanos, and then we've got a couple of backup options. Now, playing a Gudgeon or something to draw to would also be good, but this is a perfectly reasonable hand. I can actually toss the Amnesia. I definitely don't need it here. The Heinous Feast is more valuable. So I'm just gonna play this and reveal my entire hand just to get a big army going. So the opponent knows all 4 of these cards. So if they have some kind of trick that can take advantage of the fact that I don't have an answer to it, then that won't be good. But, oh, don't. But just gonna erase. Now, I think this makes sense. So I spent my gold first and I passed. Erase returns a champion to its owner's hand, and you draw 2 cards. So using it on a token there makes sense because it's much better to remove the token from the board than it is to remove the bigger champion, but I also get to use the ability again later. So if Wolf returned this card to my hand, it would also be like me drawing an extra card. So here, my opponent knows what I have. Alright, so they're going to play Juggernaut. And they're going to reveal 2 to draw a card. Alright. Interesting seeing people on the Siren Song plan. I'm just going to take it. I could draw 2 first and see if I get Hasty Retreat. I'm not going to. Hasty Retreat would be pretty good, but I'm not in dire shape here. I have plenty of cards in hand. And I don't want to draw 2 and then get... I mean, I guess my opponent knows what I have in my hand, so I might as well have just drawn 2 there. Alright. The card I'm talking about, Hasty Retreat, it returns an attacking champion to its owner's hand for 0. And if it wasn't blocked, then they draw a card. So right here, I could block with a zombie and then Hasty Retreat it, and they wouldn't draw a card, and I would keep the zombie. Yeah, no problem. Say Jagger's good. Alright, let's attack with the zone. So the main disadvantage is if I attack, it could have Ice Drake. So I'm actually going to attack with my biggest champion to play around Ice Drake. When you play Ice Drake or Surprise Attack Frost Titan. When you play an Ice Drake or Surprise Attack Frost Titan, it expends all of your opponent's champions so they can't attack. Alright, there. Looks like he's going to play Guild Demon. Sure. Sounds good. That's fine with me. I could play this Wolfspite here. I think I'm just going to hold on to it and try and get some card advantage out of it. I think my opponent is on an Army of the Apocalypse plan, given that there is Guild Demon and Juggernaut here. They're both Blitz champions, so that's just my assumption. And then I'm going to attack with some more zombies. I'm going to attack for 6 here. I'll probably just Medusa that. Don't think it's worth playing around Army of the Apocalypse right now. What's my other play? My other play is play Xanos and make 3 zombies. Block with Xanos. And then I can't really use this surprise attack for anything. So I'll just play this Medusa here. That's fine. We'll show the 2 cards that my opponent knows about. It is weak to Army of the Apocalypse. But Army of the Apocalypse wouldn't be that impressive here. It'd be like playing Juggernaut, but instead of playing Juggernaut, instead of loyalty to draw a card, you get an extra Guild Demon. So I'm not afraid. Unless they also have... Oh, right. I kind of forgot that they still have their gold up. Alright. That's fine. So I'm expecting some kind of attack for 5 and then board clear here, which means the surprise attack is going to make things very good for me. Alright. Yeah, I'm expecting like a reset or Time Walker or standalone. Mountain's a little fringe. Winged Death. Alright. I'll sacrifice a zombie token. Okay. Well, let's I mean, honestly, I'm just fine with taking it. I'm just gonna draw 2 here. Good surprise attack, but it's not worth it. I want more cards in my hand. They can hit me for 4, bring me down to 15, and I'll lose another zombie. But the zombies aren't very meaningful here. Now what I do want... Okay. I don't know if they're playing around something. Anyway, let's just start attacking. So I'm going to attack with... They probably have Helion in that kind of deck, so I'm going to come with the zombies first. Because right now I'm playing around Helion, taking one of my bigger things to block my other smaller thing. Alright, they do a Vice Strike. That is fine. Looks like they're not blocking though. Worried about some kind of trick maybe. So I'm just going to play this Angel of Death and clear the board here. It's not worth trying to fight. I don't want to take all of this airborne damage. What do they reveal? They reveal it's Siren Song and Erase, right? Which is what they got earlier. I think there was also one other card we know about. I'm just going to Angel of Death. If they want to Army of the Apocalypse here, that's also perfectly fine with me. Alright, they're going to Muse. Now I just hope they don't Amnesia. Alright, they do Amnesia. It's probably a good time to Amnesia there because it plays around Wolfspite or Flame Spike, which I do have. And also, I think that they're probably planning on playing Army of the Apocalypse on their turn. This would be the perfect time to play Army of the Apocalypse because my discard pile is empty, and they would get all these things back. But I have to play. I don't think it's correct to play around it. All right, they're going to drain Essence, so that's nice. So I assume they don't have Army of the Apocalypse. I'm going to surprise attack here. Surprise attack is quite nice in this situation. I have 2 evil cards, so I don't have the loyalty really to make either of those work. I don't really want any of these, so I'm going to Misguide Herald again. I want like a Gudgeon. Hey, look what it is. Alright. Gudgeon's very nice here. It prevents you from being amnesiaed or heinous feasted. And They don't really want to bounce it because when you play it, you get to draw 2 cards. It's going to attack one at a time with everything. See if I get in with everything. If I do, I'll probably just pass. I mean, I have a really big grip here, but I'll probably just amnesia them and then pass. Alright. We'll just get rid of... We'll leave the champion, since they're probably playing Zombie Apocalypse and... Zombie Apocalypse and... We have Necromancer Lord. It's possible they didn't have a play to make there, but they have Siren Song, so they definitely could have drawn 2. But right now I'm hitting them for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 a turn, so it's 2 more turns of attacking, and then it'll be the end of the game. And I really find that surprise attack helps a lot for evil based decks because they don't have as many they just don't have as many things to do off turn. Thought-Flicker could be very good. Who do we want to hit off of? I can't really imagine it being very good. Probably it's Xanos or Misguide Hero, or sorry, Xanos or... You know, I'm just going to play Xanos and demand an answer. He didn't have something that did 2 to every champion last turn, so if he doesn't have one now, then... or them. If Wolf doesn't have one now, then that'll be the end of it. I mean, if Wolf's playing Flashfire or Wither in their deck, and they probably are, a lot of evil decks play Wither, in my experience. That's a good sign. If they are playing Wither in their deck, then, I mean, that almost tells me that they don't have it. Well, let's attack with this. I could attack with enough. Basically, if they have Ice Drake, then I want to be able to actually block their... Oh, they can't Ice Drake me because I have Gudgeon. But if they have Removal for Gudgeon and Ice Drake, then I want to be able to defeat their Gudgeon when they use it to block. Alright. I mean, I'll just consume that. I don't know what they have, but if they're playing that as a chump blocker, then that means I should probably not let them chump it with it. By the way, when I use the term chump blocker, what I mean is it's like a blocker that they're using on defense, but it doesn't actually defeat the attacker. It just stops the attack. Just gonna keep 1-for-1ing their 0-cost champions that block. I'm kind of curious. They could be really slow rolling some kind of... Alright. That is fine. I don't have a good answer to that, so that one's just going to block. Alright. And all these are going to get in. That's probably lethal. Yep. Alright. Game Wolf. Alright. And so that's what constructive looks like with this deck. It's kind of grindy. So what I mean is, good game, Wolf. What I mean is, basically, you're not trying to win quickly. It's more about attrition. So a lot of the game plan is just every time your opponent plays something, you're trying to make your players do the same thing or a little bit more. Not even necessarily right away, but possibly in a couple of turns once you've filled your hand with enough cards to make Xanos and your loyalty to an evil worthwhile. Thanks for playing. No, I think it was fine. There were a couple of times where Misguide Herald came in, but I think that Misguide Herald also just struggles against these kind of decks. And I guess you're not playing Wither or Flashfire, so you don't have ways to deal with like big swarms of tokens for 0. also not sure if you're running any kind of way to get rid of the board. I mean, I'm not sure if you saw my Sage aggro list that I was running a couple last week, but I think the only board clear I had in there was Wave Transformation, maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway, thanks for playing, and I'll be giving you some gems after the stream. I could try and make something a little bit more goofball-y instead of this deck. This deck's very serious. It's like a secret agent of the deck. Let's try and make something a little goofier here. All right. All right, let's do something a little more strange. Pick a card to build around. Yeah, that's fair. I think, yeah, there's that turn where you Siren Song the zombie token, and I just kind of assumed that you didn't have an answer at that point. But it might have been worth just drawing 2 to try and find a Wither with the Siren Song on my turn. Let's see. I'm gonna do something that's a little crazier than usual. Maybe we could try and build around Hurricane. Something that doesn't happen very often. I do like brewing. What I mean is I do like making decks. I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy that I know a lot of people don't love as much as I do, because I really love it. Alright, we could do some kind of wacky zero-cost champion beatdown with Time Walker, but I see a lot of that right now, so I guess it's not too crazy. Maybe some kind of break all synergy. Not something that's snowbally. Down split zeros is fun. It is fun. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So here's the deck. Basically, usually you play Reset and Time Walker, but I always find that playing 3 of each is rough because sometimes you don't want them. But we're going to run 3 of each just to make our deck more consistent. And both of these cards return all champions to their owner's hand. So the synergy here is you play zero-cost champions, and then they have some kind of effect. They either have Blitz, or they have a Tribute, or they have something which just has an effect when they come into play. And then when your opponent's gold is down, you play something like one of these 2 cards to get all of your zero-cost champions back to your hand, and then you replay it. So you'll play, you'll play a zero-cost champion attack, play another zero-cost champion attack, and then return them all, and then replay your zero-cost champions and continue attacking. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Hurricane. We could do something with Hurricane. I think I want to try something a little bit different than this, because this deck's really cool, but I think it's less entertaining to watch because you frequently have game states where you struggle to you draw weird hands with lots of zero-cost champions, and or you draw your Time Walkers, but you don't draw enough Sage cards to bounce everything. So I think we're gonna try one of the asymmetrical. I like that idea. Asymmetrical effects here. Let's do. Hurricane's pretty good. I think Break All could be interesting. I don't think that I've seen one of those in a while, so let's try that out. Let's try that out and do asymmetrical with Breaking All champions. So what does that mean? That means that we're going to play champions that are unbreakable on your turn, like Drinker of Blood, and then effects that take advantage of the fact that they're unbreakable on your turn, like Plague, or pretty much anything that breaks all champions, and you get to keep your unbreakable champions. So what we're going to do is we're first going to figure out what the core of the deck is. And to do that, we're going to look up unbreakable. And these champions, in some way or another, have an unbreakable effect. Now, Drinker of Blood, Saren, basically all the vampires, Vampire Lord and Dark Knight, all are unbreakable on your turn, along with Juggernaut. So these are really good with the break all effects. Master Zoe is also kind of works the same way. Whenever it attacks or blocks, it's unbreakable this turn. So I would call this like an honorary vampire. We're going to put him in because he really synergizes well. You can attack, and then you can play the break all before letting your opponent block. All right, and then we are going to look at these other options. All right, I'm not sure what I even want to play here. Vampire Lord, Drinker of Blood, Saren, and Dark Knight. So we really want, these are all Blitz champions plus Drinker of Blood. We really want to have our opponent spend their gold first. That's how we're going to take advantage of these effects. So we want to punish our opponent, put our opponent in a situation where they really want to spend their gold first. That's going to be the game plan. Otherwise, I think we are going to try it out. We'll play some number of Vampire Lords and Sarens here. I'm not sure about Drinker of Blood. Maybe we'll just come back to that. I'll put Dark Knight in. Drinker of Blood. We could do some number of them. We'll just try 2 for now. I think Drinker of Blood is less good when your deck isn't full of synergy for it. It is really good if you can stick it and then you can break all champions. So on the other hand, maybe it is already good for it. Yeah, that's for sure. All right. I think, yeah, Wave Transformation is just good because it catches everything. So Wave Transformation you can use to stop untargetable champions. You can use it even if your opponent has a big threat on the board or a lot of champions out. This will at least kind of stop the attack for the turn. They might play a Blitz champion, but if they don't have anything like that, then you're golden. So, all right, now we have to find some champions that force our opponent to act first. So we want ambush champions that really encourage forcing our opponent to make a move. So let's put in Thought Plucker. Thought Plucker is a good card for that. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough loyalty 2s to want to run Juggernaut, so I'm not going to put it in yet. Let's see what else we have. I'm just thinking of what else we want. Let's just look at Ambush. Ambushy. Alright. Crystal Golem's pretty reasonable option as well. Kind of it is the same thing. Usually you can get to the point where your opponent is in an awkward spot because of it. So yeah, we'll run Crystal Golem. And then I think what this deck wants is actually something like Vanishing for the 0 cost for Sage. Just because, again, you're trying to get your opponent to act first. So let's find Vanishing here. Vanishing is a good card to punish your opponent. Not to punish your opponent, but to put them in a position where they are behind on board, but above in hand. And then we're also going to play some break all effects. So let's look at the 1-cost cards. I think we're going to have enough evil cards to run Angel of Death. It's just a very good card when you can run it. And let's also play, we have a lot of champions. We could also probably run Misguide Herald. What are other break alls? There's Plague, Apocalypse, Rax's Displeasure, and Zombie Apocalypse. Zombie Apocalypse is less interesting in this deck since the tokens are really going to be a downside. I think we're going to play Plague. Plague is going to be a good card in this deck. Probably Apocalypse as well. We'll start with that as our core here. So let's see, let's go ahead and toss in some Misguide Heralds. Going to be all over the place on this build, which is perfectly fine. It's a good place to start. All right, and then yeah, like maybe we even want something like Misguided Herald plus Ancient Chant or something like that. I don't know. We're gonna come back to it. or erase. All right, and then we also need at least one more good card that costs gold. So I think in the name of off-turn plays that force our opponent to spend their gold, we might just want Urgent Messengers in this deck because it's a good way to draw cards and get some blockers. This deck is going to have a hard time with blocking. Angel of the Gate would also be pretty reasonable here. So I think these two are good options for this deck. And then we want some zero cost cards. So normally I would think that with the type of cards we're doing, we'd want to pick up with the break all effects, we'd want Brave Squire, but I think our biggest issue will be racing our opponent's health total. So we're just going to pack some second winds into this deck to help us not die. Let's see, right now we have 28 one-cost cards, so we want to have 40. So we're going to go back to Evil. We're going to flush out those loyalty twos. So we're going to play some Final Tasks. We have a lot of synergy with Final Task and Drain Essence. And maybe Reaper, so still not sure on that one. We want, what do we have for on-turn plays here? We have not a whole lot. Misguided Herald and Drinker of Blood. So I think we're going to want to pack at least a couple of Gudgeons. And then right now, we're already looking good. We're at 28 plus 8 is 36. So again, I think I like the idea of tossing in some surprise attacks. That will be that'll be 4. You just have so many champions. When you have a ton of champions, surprise attack is a pretty good option. So we're going to play 3 surprise attacks, and let's put in just Draka's Fire, I think. It'll help us with tokens, and also it gives us an option that can burn our opponent. Kong would also be reasonable here, but yeah, I think we're just going to play something that is just helps us in any situation. And then normally I would probably play some kind of removal here, but I think for this type of deck, I actually want to play Rage. It works really well with our unbreakable champions because they can't break them. It's true. Okay, we can do Flash Fire. We can do Flash Fire. That's perfectly reasonable. Put Flash Fire in. It does work really well with Drinker of Blood, to be honest. Because if you have this out and their opponent has a bunch of tokens, then you can play this and then Flash Fire and you gain a lot of health. So it gives you a reason to want to have Drinker of Blood in your hand. And then aside from this, we need one more free Sage card. So I think we're just going to play one safe Amnesia here. And then we're going to go over to Evil free, and we need to pick up a whole bunch. 12 minus 3 is 9, so we need 3 of these. We'll have 3 copies of. So I think we're going to play Wither, and then probably Heinous Feast, since I don't really expect this deck to be very fast. So it'd be good to have some Graveyard Banishment. I expect the games to go quite long, frequently. And then I want to play at least 1 copy of Plentiful Dead. I'm not sure if we want 3. It's true, yeah. 2 Flame Strike. Yeah, no, definitely. Even if there's 2 tokens in play, it's better than Flame Strike. All right, and then what are we missing from our deck right now? I think if we're going to play these, I'm trying to figure out if I want to play Corpse Taker or Spawning Demon or Little Devil. Because honestly, we could play pretty much any of these. I think we're just going to play a second Plentiful Dead, but I don't think we want 3. And then maybe a Rax's Curse as like a safety. We could also play Consume, but it's definitely nice to have some more draw 2 cards in this deck. And then we're done. We're just going to call this deck Unbreakables. Hopefully we have enough Unbreakable champions. We might end up missing with our Misguided Herald, so if that starts happening a lot, we'll just have to cut the Misguided Heralds for something else. All right. Yes. I try to build my decks a little more loosely. I think that it's better not to antagonize over the choices too much, but just to pick something out and start playing with it, and then you can make adjustments. think it's much easier to make adjustments once you've started to play with something than before you've played with it. Crystal Golem. Great antagonizing card. We have a lot of these cards in our deck. Alright. Oh, I guess we'll just go play that arena game. I think I'm still playing that token deck. I haven't finished yet. Let's just see. Yep, I'm still running the token deck from last stream. This is the one that, I see someone's in the queue right now. We saw last time, Tom had this token deck that he was shared with me, so I decided to take it into arena, and I think we're actually doing quite well. I don't know if we have 3 wins, maybe? Alright, well, anyway. We're going to toss these Insurgencies. They're not the kind of card you want in your opening hand. Faithful Pegasus is a recycle, so we don't want that in our opening hand either. Deadly Raid is also a card that we don't want in our opening hand because it is like a finishing type of card. It's the kind of card you want towards the end. Alright, and then I'm just going to attack for 2 with this Bodyguard. We'll see. Probably end up doing 2 here and then playing Urgent Messengers to draw 2 cards. I don't know. Alright, they're going to play Pyromancer, probably deal 4 damage to us. Sounds good. So I'm totally going to let this attack happen. It's A-okay. Now I think here I'm just going to start building my tokens by force exiling that. It's a little weak because that isn't really a threat, but I don't want it to continue blocking my stuff. So I'm going to banish it and make 2 human tokens and return this Bodyguard to hand and then re-attack with it. I'm assuming I'm against some kind of burn deck because they played Pyromancer. And this Urgent Messengers will draw some more cards on my next turn. So since I'm almost guaranteed to be drawing 2 next turn, with this Urgent Messengers, I don't want to draw 2. I want to get rid of that now, instead of having to get rid of it plus whatever else my opponent plays on the next turn. A big part of tokens is if you can keep the opponent's board clear, or at least not have very many blockers, then you can keep attacking and antagonizing. Alright, that's fine. We're not gonna, just gonna place Urgent Messengers here. Let the opponent hit us. See, what do they have? They have Cave Troll and Flame Spike. So I'm probably just going to try and play this Courageous Soul to get the Flame Spike out of the hand. It's not ideal, but you know, it's perfectly fine. They're not going to be able to Flame Spike me, and they're not going to be able to recycle off the Flame Spike, so I think it's worth doing. Then this Deadly Raid is going to give everything +2/+2 attack. So let's see, 4 plus 4 times 3 is 12 plus 4 is 16. It's going to be tough to win from this position. I think I still have to play the Courageous Soul, see if my opponent wants to react. If my opponent doesn't Flame Spike that, then they can probably just kill me. So I hope they Flame Spike it. Alright. That's good to see, I think. Alright. Yeah, we're not going to Deadly Raid. Just going to attack for 3 as a group. Get a little bit of chip damage in. Tubbs is being pretty greedy with his plays by just playing immediately. I think do we guess we don't know any of the other cards in hand. Smash and burn. Okay. Sure. I'm just gonna banish all here then. Then after banishing all, I'll play the Faithful Pegasus as a chump blocker in the event of something like a Strafing Dragon attacking again. So the reason I'm banishing all is it gets rid of this Cave Troll forever. We don't have any discard banishment in our deck. And also, it puts our opponent in a position where they need to do something. So I am just going to play this. Well, let's play this Bodyguard first. Attack. Get it for 2 again. And then we'll play this Pegasus on defense. Doesn't really matter. I think there's any recursion in this deck. Alright. Playing around the... I suppose if they have Strafing Dragon, then still lose. Because they can use this Smash and Burn to hit it. Alright, that's fine. That sounds good. I'm going to play this Noble Unicorn, recalling Bodyguard and drawing a card. Hopefully we draw a 1-cost good card here that can activate this. Well, it does. It does technically count. I think I really don't want to quell here. I think I'm going to have to play Standard Bearer, unfortunately. It is pretty weak. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that that passing here is a winning play. I'm at 11. That deck's going to have some burn in it. So I'll just randomly die if I just keep passing back and forth at 11 health. Let's see, this is 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 8 is enough. If my opponent passes, it's actually tempting to just Bodyguard swing with both. I think I will. It's definitely quite greedy, but I think I need to be greedy in this situation. Am I miscounting? I am miscounting. Hopefully they'll just think oh yeah, there's no way they would make that attack if here. But yeah, I'm definitely miscounting. Alright. Sounds good. Alright. I'm going to be almost definitely playing Deadly Raid to draw 2 here, so that's totally fine. Uh-oh. That's not good. That may be game. We're going to see, though. Because, what did they show to me? Strafing Dragon, Smash and Burn. So I have to not die to that. That is going to be tough. What could I draw off the top here? I could draw Inheritance of the Meek. Or Martial Law. Those would be my only outs. Or Forced Exile would also work. Alright, well, I think I have to go for it. I'm going to go ahead and discard probably Quell. And it doesn't really matter what I recycle. I'll just assume that they have Zombie Apocalypse in their deck and keep my champions. Alright. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm playing Noble Unicorn. Well, what if they don't have Loyalty 2 for Strafing Dragon? Then I could win with Secret Legion. Yeah, there's no draw that would save me off of draw 2. Alright, I'll just take the 9. I'm not gonna spend my gold first. But yeah, alright, that makes sense. Well, maybe I missed something. Probably dead. I think I am. Alright, well, good game, Tubbs. Explosion. And what we got? Our full rampaging one. Alright. Oh, I got 2 wins. Alright. Good to know. The Optimist. Okay. Let's see what game mode we're playing. Alright, we're playing Constructed. This is the Unbreakable deck. I guess I should have known from the 2 Sarens. So we're going first. I'm not sure if I actually want to play Drinker of Blood and just pass. It does seem like a bit weak. But, I don't know what else I want to do. I mean, we can try it. Who knows? Maybe there's not that much balance going on right now. This is probably a pretty weak play, generally speaking, but I think that for our strategy, it may be good. It's quite possible that just the Saren will get in there for a lot. But I guess we'll find out. Alright, they're going to play Noble Unicorn. They're on some kind of, probably a Kark deck. If they're playing Noble Unicorn, they could just be a mid-rangey deck with some health gain, and they play White Knight and Gold Dragon, things like that. Avenging Angel, maybe. Or they could be a token deck. I hope they're a token deck. And they just play time tokens right now. The reason I played, so on my first turn, I usually want to play a champion that doesn't have ambush, so something like one of these 2 cards. You know, I really want to be greedy and block and then wither, but it's so dangerous that I don't think it's worth doing. I'm just going to take the 6. Plus, a lot of these decks don't have any way to really be aggressive. It's possible that my opponent's playing a deck where they can be, but this attack with the Noble Unicorn tells me that they don't have a good 1-cost good card to play this turn. They're just going to pass or play something strange, like a draw 2 right now. I think a draw 2 makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay, yep, they are on tokens. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to know. Yeah. I mean, I think if they had removal for this, they would just play it. So I'm just going to spend my turn drawing 2. Try and find one of those break all effects. Like, if they had something that could break this, then they would just play it. Maybe I'm going to get punished by Secret Legion or something, but yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Start my turn. I got another Drinker of Blood to back this one up, so we're gonna attack first. But Drinker of Blood Wither here does what? Kills 4 humans, which means I get actually, maybe I just should have played Drinker of Blood plus Wither. It deals 16, I gain 16. It's pretty big. All right, they're gonna take 5. I think I'm just going to go for that. Hard to do better. A little unfortunate that my opponent happens to be playing a deck which is really weak against Drinker of Blood. Fortunate for them. And I'm just going to use that recycle right away and pass. It's possible I should just Vanishing here, return the People's Champion to hand. This plays fine. Maybe they'll play some kind of crazy, like a Angel of the Gate maybe would be the worst thing. Maybe the best thing for me to vanish. But right now when they play a good card, they get 3 human tokens and they draw a card. But also whenever anything breaks, they lose 4 health and I gain 4 health. So I'd say we're in a good spot. And we also are running Plague in our deck, which is very good against human tokens. This is a very good deck against human tokens. This is probably as close as you can get to being tuned against human tokens. So it looks like they don't have an off-turn play, which is very bad for them. Are they moving any cards? So it looks like they mulliganed 1. Oh, maybe they just didn't want to play Martial Law. Alright, so whenever the ally abilities happen after the card, so you still get to draw a card and make 3 human tokens. I think this play is pretty reasonable considering that they probably just don't want to get blown out again. I'm just going to play this Crystal Golem here. If they attack, I'll just block and draw 2 off of it. I'm holding on to this surprise attack because this deck has a lot of champions in it that can only be played on your turn. So I'm thinking it's very likely going to get me value. Alright, that sounds good. Well, let's attack with this. I'm probably going to block with People's Champion. If they do, then I'll break it and draw 2 cards. And then if I find a Flash Fire or something, then I can maybe try and do something fancy. Probably just gonna play this Gudgeon now. Against a deck like this, we do have to worry about Inheritance of the Meek, which banishes all non-token champions. This champion's unbanishable, so it's actually very good with banish all effects. Alright. I'm gonna draw 2 cards. That crazy value. Yeah, I mean, then we'll just Gudgeon, draw 2, and then return that People's Champion to their hand. Just slow their plays down. Since otherwise they get another 2 humans out of whenever they play another good card, which is probably going to be right now. This Vampire Lord is also very good against human tokens because you can play it and block a human and get 2 counters on it, and then when it attacks, it gets 2 counters on it when it gets blocked. Alright, a Standard Bearer. Sounds reasonable. Still weak to effects that banish, since all of our champions are unbreakable and small. They're not very threatening. This Angel of Death would be very good right now as well. But it does seem like they're not really running any kind of spot removal. Ooh, Gladius. Alright. Seeing some interesting cards today. Gudgeon's probably just going to have to block a human token. This is also probably the time to surprise attack, just in case I find something that changes my plans. Well, let's surprise attack. Oh, yeah, that does change my plans. Alright, let's keep the surprise deck. Let's keep the final task a secret. But that is pretty ridiculous. Because it negates their play and it clears their board, and then I can immediately attack for 6 on my turn. And then I'll have a Blitz champion to back it up. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So if you're playing cards that don't have effects when they come into play, they're very weak to bounce. Now, I would say that once upon a time, cards like Erase and other bounce effects were played a lot. The meta has shifted away from bounce effects, in my opinion. I think people aren't playing them as much because they're worried about cards like Strafing Dragon and T-Rex that give you value when you play them. There are definitely still people playing bounce effects. I think the most common one is Erase, and some of the slow decks run Sea Titan. But I don't see many bounce effects. I think people really are just deciding to play other cards over Vanishing. And I think Vanishing is just a superb tempo card if you're trying to catch up on board. It's kind of like a card that can let you catch up on board, but it can also really punish your opponent. Even for cards that have some kind of interplay effect. Sometimes you just ignore how many cards they have in their hand. Alright, we're going to get some human tokens. And then we're going to attack for 10. This is why I was thinking Rage would be good in this deck. If they play a chump blocker here, then what would they do? Oh, they're just going to go to 1. Alright. Keep looking at my deck. Alright. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to keep on. Well, we don't really need the health. Well, let's just get rid of this so it's hard for our opponent to block all of our 1/1s. Since they need to block all of these as it stands. This also would be an interesting shell to try putting something like Deadly Raid in, where all of your champions gain unblockable, because your unbreakable things can't really be removed effectively. It's Wave Transformation or Bust. Or Martial Law, I guess. It's true, yeah. Honestly, it's been interesting watching people move away from certain archetypes, move towards other ones. I see a lot of wild decks, and I think the reason for that is Wild is the most straightforward game type. So if you're playing Wilds, then generally your lines are much easier. You have options to finish your opponent off. So if you get behind, then you can draw some burn and finish them off. You have big champions that it's more. I forget what the word is. It's not reactive. It's the opposite. So you can play your powerful cards, and then your opponent has to answer your big threats instead of you trying to answer what your opponent's doing. So you have to worry about understanding what things are powerful, much less as well. I'm just going to toss the Amnesia. I think having a surprise attack, a draw 2, and 2 champions, maybe also the Saren. I mean, last time this person was on tokens. I'm going to get rid of Saren. Yeah, proactive. Exactly. Thank you, Wolf. Optimist. This Plague also just has the nice side benefit of being very good against certain decks. So it's really good against human tokens because top mode deals some damage to all of your champions and draws you 2 if you have 2 cards in your discard pile. So it's great against tokens, it's great against Thought Plucker, it's great against Necromancer Lord and High King, and Force Mage Apprentice. Alright. So they're running out a Cave Troll. It's interesting. You know, a lot of the time when my opponent plays a 0 and passes, I actually think that they don't have very much going on. So I'm going to test that. I'm just going to play this Master Zoe probably. A lot of, as a wild deck, they might struggle to remove it unless they have, what's the card? Kong. Yeah. Alright. Yep, I'm just gonna draw 2. That is a-okay. I'm gonna start the turn. And swing in for 9. What's nice is, if I wanted to, I could attack and then break all before they choose what to block with. So Master Zoe actually works pretty well in this type of deck. Except if you have multiples, it's awkward because you don't really want a group attack usually. Alright. Alright. And then after that, I'm just gonna pass. I'm gonna do anything else. Saren is probably quite good against this type of deck, but we're not gonna push our luck. Generally, if they just start their turn and then do something, they're almost definitely not going to attack us. So if they fill up the board with stuff and then I drop this Saren, then the break all will pretty much take care of everything on our turn when we get to attack. I did also think about, okay, we're just gonna, I guess they don't realize that this champion's unbreakable. They just dealt 5 to all champions and players. And didn't activate Smash and Burn. Well, we're going to hit them. I'm going to play the surprise deck here because I want to, I don't want to have a surprise deck stuck in my hand. So whenever I only have one champion in my hand that my plan is to play that card, I always surprise deck. The reason I passed was because it's a really good example of why Blitz is mostly used for punishing. So here, my opponent spent their gold first, which makes my Blitz champion much stronger because they can't play a 1-cost card. They can't use their gold to stop this attack. In Epic, you can play your champion with Blitz at any point and attack with it. So even though I passed, they did something at the end of my turn, it goes back into my turn. I can spend my gold to play a Blitz champion and attack with it. I'm not sure what my opponent's strategy is. Playing Cave Troll, Smash and Burn, and Draka's Fire. They're really good against decks that have 5 health. If your champion has 5 health, it's gonna die to everything, even this Cave Troll. Look at my poor Angel of Death. It has 5 health. It is going to die to something. Alright, that Draka is coming down, and we get to know that the opponent has a Flame Spike and a Smash and Burn. Alright. It's quite good play there. The opponent gets to attack right away, and that will deal 3 damage to this. Combined with the Smash and Burns, 6 damage, finish it off. It's only unbreakable whenever it attacks or blocks, so here we are not going to get anything fancy going on. I'm going to probably Apocalypse to draw 2 over Plague because I want to hold on to Champion of the discard pile, and the deal 1 damage might be relevant. Alright, so we're just going to take the 9. I just drew 2 there in case I drew just something that makes a difference. I guess there's actually not really anything in this deck that would matter for it. So I might as well have just taken the damage in case they have a Go Wild here. Or some other kind of pump that they wouldn't do if my gold was up. But it's not a big deal. Probably the worst thing for me would be Flash Fire or Feeding Frenzy, since or just another Flame Spike or Wolf Spike, because then they could finish this off for 0. But if that doesn't happen, I think we're in a great spot. Alright, didn't happen. I'll start my turn. I'm just going to go immediately for the Wither here. Heinous Feast is tempting. It might be worth doing just to get rid of that Cave Troll once and for all. I don't know. Yeah, alright, let's do it. I'm only going to gain 1 off of it, but what can you do? Attack for 10 here. Which champion I attack with is very nuanced. So, in general, when you're deciding which champion to attack with first, if you think all of your attacks will be good, most of the time you can just attack in any order. When you attack in a specific order, you're playing around certain cards. So here I'm attacking with my biggest champion because if my opponent is going to react, I want them to react immediately. Alright, so here I know my opponent probably doesn't have any real way to react. I'm going to attack them for another 2. And then I'm just going to play this Angel of Death and reveal both, which is going to kill my opponent's Draka and the zombie token. I could just die here if my opponent plays a... It's possible that the correct play would have just been to Vanishing and pass, since right now I could definitely die to a double burn. They burn me for some damage and they burn me for some damage again. But I think the only real advantage to passing is if my opponent spends their gold first, I could Vanishing my own Blitz champion to replay it and attack, which may also have been correct there, since they didn't have an answer before. Alright, so that's fine. They are going to play Smash and Burn. Yeah, so I think it's quite possible if I just played Vanishing on my own Saren and replayed it and attacked, I would have won. I mean, they wouldn't have had anything to put in the way. But, it happens. I generally don't make the super risky play unless I feel that it's the only way I can win. Or if I don't make it, then my chances of winning are very slim. I think consistency in general is good to aim for because as you play more, having plays that are consistent will pay off in the long run. Plus, it's just unsatisfying to win or lose a game. There you go. See, my Angel of Death just immediately died. I probably would have actually killed the Saren there, but I don't know what's in my opponent's hand. So we are just going to have to draw 2 here. I'm going to Plague. I'm not going to Zombie token, just in case. Maybe I should have. Ooh, alright. Take that 9. See, in my opponent's hand, I know they have Hurricane and Raging T-Rex. Alright, well, it's not lethal. Although it's pretty close. There's not really a difference between a 1 and 2, so I'm not going to Heinous Feast right now. I could Heinous Feast them to gain 1. I guess I could Heinous Feast myself to gain 2. Well, if I die to a Flame Spike now, then I'll be sad. Should have Heinous Feasted myself. There we go. There's a Flame Spike. Oh, good game. Optimist. Alright. See if we can modify this deck a little bit. Let's see what it needs. Alright, so overall I was quite happy. I don't think the Draka's Fire was super helpful. Maybe I want more wild cards, and that way I can play Rage as well. Flashfire is nice, but it just doesn't have the same usefulness without having Drinker of Blood in play. So it might be something like cutting some cards to make room. Let's see what we got. Most of the break calls were quite nice. I don't think I want 3 Sarens. It's a little awkward to play a surprise attack I mean, I guess it was pretty good, all those games, so maybe I should just keep it. So let's do this. So let's go ahead and toss in to this deck. I wouldn't mind having some surprise attacks. Let's play. I'm kind of worried about misguide missing. So I'm going to cut the misguides and then one copy of Amnesia. And instead I'm going to play maybe just something to finish them off. Maybe we could play Fires of Rebellion instead of the Straka's Fire here. Or maybe we could do something crazy and play like a Winds of Change or something. That'd be unique. Alright, let's try it. Let's run it. Let's run it. We're gonna play Winds of Change. You saw it here first. Winds of Change combo deck. Alright, and I think we also want to play some Rages. Guess we don't need too many now. Let's, I think Final Task is going to have a hard time being relevant. We're going to cut the Final Tasks. We're going to play one additional Gudgeon. And then we're going to go over here and play 2 Fires of Rebellion and a Rage. Or let's do a Lash, actually. It doesn't make that big of a difference. But I think that this card will be useful to recall sometimes. Boom, up a card. Need to cut an Evil 0. So, just cut our 1 off. It's usually what I do when I need to cut 1 and there's a 1 off. Not always, but... Alright. We have time for one more game. See, these Winds of Change can change our wins. All right. I do like a good play on words. Not that many exist. They're usually absolutely terrible. Reaper. I'm gonna go grab some water. But I'll be right back. Alright. I'm back. Alright, we're just gonna quickly... Oh, it's not our deck, it's random 30. Alright, enemy's going first. We're gonna keep an ambush champion and a draw 2. Sorry, Fiero. It's a good name. Hopefully they didn't think I was gone. Maybe they're reading their cards. Alright, pretty good hand. Wasn't absolutely necessary that I kept the Vampire Lord. I think it can really have some trouble in random 30. Alright, so our opponent is going to play that. We're just going to toss this Rabble Rouser. I think it's the weakest card in our hand. Given this situation, I'm just going to play the Vampire Lord and start attacking them. Possible that it will get returned to hand or Lightning Striked right here, but if not, then I can start attacking them for some damage. Alright, so they don't have Lightning Strike in their hand. Let's get in for 5. Because they're thinking about playing a big champion that blocks. Maybe they're thinking about like a Ice Drake or a Lurking Giant. Just some big champion for a gold. Oh, Brave Squire. I guess it's kind of close. Alright, so using this Brave Squire to jump. I'm perfectly happy with that. I think what I would do here is actually Brave Squire, but give the Knight Unbreakable, and then block with my 1/1 human by itself here, because it's just going to jump anyway. I mean, I guess this gives them a human for next turn. Or even give the Knight of Shadows Unbreakable, but block the Knight of Shadows. Problem with this play is, like, I think we're just going to play this Noble Martyr and attack, and it's probably going to be used as removal to kill their Knight of Shadows here. Or they can just take 7, which is also fine with me. Oh, I just realized they haven't spent their gold yet. Oh well, it's fine. I shouldn't have done that. I'm being very aggressive. I guess they don't have an answer to it. In random 30, you can actually get away with playing a Blitz champion and attacking a lot of the time. In limited and constructed, usually it's just not safe enough. It's very risky because your opponent can have a lot of different answers that remove this and put them ahead. So if they have one of those, then playing a Blitz champion and attacking is not a very good strategy. And this is an especially weak champion because it only has 4 health. So if they had a Pyromancer or Rain of Fire or trying to think of some other ones. Lightning Storm, Lightning Strike. I mean, we know that they didn't have Lightning Strike because they would have played it on my turn. But yeah, any number of things really. And there's some good 0-cost answers to that as well. Spike Trap and Hands from Below are both really powerful against this card. Alright, well, you can take 1. Ow. I'm gonna kill our guy and then K9. Alright, that's fine. We're gonna recycle. Recycle not the card that does something that is Scarf out, but the other 2. And I'm gonna draw 2, probably with this Lessons Learned. And I'm going to start whacking with this Watchful Gargoyle. I mean, it's not really enough of a clock on its own. 2 against 36, that would be 18 turns of attacking in order for it to kill our opponent. It's just not enough. But we'll get him for 2 first anyway. And then we'll play this Demon Breach to make 3 demons. Corpse Monger would also be reasonable to banish the Knight of Shadows. I think that play is also fine. I kind of want to get the board to a position where this Frost Giant does a lot. But if I did that and then they played something, I could Frost Giant and attack. But the worry here with doing that is if I play Corpse Monger, banish Knight of Shadows, pass, and then they draw 2, then if I Frost Giant and attack, I'll only have 3 cards in hand, and it'd be very easy for them to board clear and punish me. So generally, as my opponent adds more things to their side of the board, it's safer for me to add stuff to my side of the board. So here, I could actually get rid of the Knight of Shadows. And I think I will. I mean, yeah, sure. It's unlikely that they can clear the board in a way that benefits them highly. I think if I didn't have this Corpse Monger, then they wouldn't clear the board, but now they would. It depends on the player and what's in their hand. They also just might not have a board clear, which does happen in Random 30. There are a lot. Keep in mind, in Epic, you can't really expect anything to be around forever. So you're just trying to get value out of your cards. You're trying to get them to do something that is meaningful. In this case, this Watchful Gargoyle drew me a card, and it dealt 2 damage to my opponent. So if this dies at this point in the game, perfectly fine. I spent 0 to deal 2 damage to my opponent and draw a card. It's a great trade. I gained 3 health off of this Corpse Monger. I would prefer to do something more than that, but a lot of the time you just have to play to what's in your hand. Alright, my opponent's going to play Steel Golem and pass. Well, I'm going to be drawing 2. This Dark Offering I think is going to be hard to use, so I'll just draw 2 with it. Alright. Could actually just Frost Giant. It's kind of funny. I kind of like that play. What would I threaten? I'd be threatening a lot. Let's do it. It'd be really hard to punish me for attacking with Frost Giant. Just attack with a Demon. They might have Ceasefire. It's not super likely. Trying to figure out what I want to play around. Oh, I'll just attack with a Demon. I don't want to just pass, because then they'll start their turn. So a lot of the time after spending my gold, but my opponent hasn't, I'll pass, even if I have good attacks. I'm not banishing anything because I don't gain health out of it. I don't think it's worth banishing anything right now. In fact, I'm actually reasonably likely to just attack for 4. I could use this to banish one of my own champions to gain 3 health, but I think it's not worth it. 3 health, I'd just rather attack with it. My opponent might clear the board here, but they would also take out their own Steel Golem, so it wouldn't be the end of the world for me. Alright, that's a good sign. Also going to get in with these other ones. And then afterwards, probably 8. Let's see what they want to spend their gold on. They've been holding something. Maybe it's like a... Alright. Sure. I'll get 2 humans. That works pretty well. I think we're just going to also attack both of these. These human tokens can block the Steel Golem. So right now we're just going to take 6 in the air. So far. And even if they get rid of these humans with a Wither or something, I can draw 2 with Divine Judgment, and then banish this to make 5 more humans. So this has just been sitting in the discard pile waiting for a yellow card to get played. Alright, they're gonna War Machine. Oh, that's not good for me. Now I kind of want to Divine Judgment to banish all. That is a lot of damage I'll be taking. Well, I'm going to take this 6 for sure. I don't really want to go down to 10. I might just play Lying in Wait to banish Steel Golem. That's probably the play. This is almost good, but the problem is if I don't have yeah, I need some way to clear the board. Well, let's do it. Hopefully I'll get one. Might actually work with Insurgency quite well. Right now we have 16 on board. If I just draw a random Blitz champion, I could win. No, that's not what that is. Kind of just want to play a big dump thing as a blocker. So I'm just going to play this Kark and gain 4 health and pass. Doesn't really do that much, but I have a reasonably high chance of actually being able to activate one of these loyalties. Rax would also be reasonable, but just because I get something out of having a big blocker right now, I think I'm just going to do this. Show my opponent I have Insurgency. This draft? No, it's just random 30. I just played into random 30. I have no idea what's in my deck. Alright, Inner Peace means I'm not planning on killing my opponent anytime soon. What's interesting about Lying in Wait is you can use it to hit untargetable champions. So if my opponent attacks with the Steel Golem, I could Lying in Wait it. But that would go against my philosophy, generally speaking, that I don't like to play my last draw 2, or my last card that draws cards, not to draw cards. So if I can, I'll be saving that to draw 2 instead of using it for the second option. And throwing one human, keep in mind, tokens in this game, they're pretty expendable. My opponent attacks with a Steel Golem and I block with it. That's going to be my human right there. Alright, ooh, I like this play that they're making. They're passing. Still, it's unlikely in random 30 that they have a good punish for me. So I'm probably just going to draw 2 cards. They might not even have anything really to do. I could get really blown out for this, but I think that it would be wrong for me not to make it. Oh, yeah, I don't think you need off-turn board wipes, generally speaking. On-turn ones are perfectly fine. I mean, your opponent can test you sometimes. If they have the right cards, they can put you in a position where if you don't have an off-turn board wipe, then things don't go very well for you. But I don't know, I think it's fine the way it is. It's a good format for new players. And I think that unlike something like Dark Draft, you're much less likely to win if, as opposed to Dark Draft, if you have a lot more experience than the other player. So it feels better for new people. All right, let's see. So 9, 10, 11. So that is untargetable, which means it's really hard to remove anyway. So I guess I'm not really going to be attacking. I'm just going to be making some zombies. Let's hide the Grave Demon, I guess. Make the opponent think that they're going to draw out. Yeah, that might be the game plan. This might be a long game. That's fair, yeah. Beginner is also good. I think beginner is nice because people get to learn the synergies. And I also just think time modes in general are bad for new players. Like, this game has a high chance of the opponent losing to time if they don't play efficiently. I've been explaining my turns a lot, but also I'm pretty good at just whenever I need to, I can take a very small amount of time on my turns. On the other hand, if the opponent spends 30 seconds per turn, that means they have 12 turns left. I think they're spending more than that. So yeah, like I said earlier, if you're playing for the first time, I highly suggest to either play beginner or the untimed modes for your first game so that you don't put in a situation where you're working under the clock. The opponent's going to banish their whole discard pile to dig, leaving the inner piece. Here, I don't know, I probably would take Ancient Chant or Wolf's Bite, depending on what's in my hand. Maybe Alara, if they also have Loyalty 2 for that. Thing is, in this situation, the board state is kind of gummed up. So they want card advantage. They're not going to be able to get through a Juggernaut. Inner Demon might be good for them. Thrasher Demon is not going to be relevant unless they have a way to clear the board. And People's Champion is just not going to do enough. It is kind of, I guess, a reasonable counter to my tokens, but I don't think it's good enough here. It's true, yeah. Yeah, new players do frequently have their animation speed set lower. Alright, Wolf's Bite, but no recycle, sadly. So what happens is if you recycle means if you have 2 or more cards in your discard pile, then you can put 2 on the bottom to draw a card. So in Epic, I can't spend my gold yet because I don't have they have to attack me. In Epic, whenever you're attacked or whenever your opponent ends your turn are the times that you can spend your gold in your opponent's turn. I'm just taking hits from this from this I think it's hit me 4 times. 3 or 4 times. Yeah, I also don't usually have Battle Pass turned on, which lets you skip all the steps in an attack unless your opponent does something. If you don't care, if there's nothing that your opponent has that they could block, that would be relevant. What did they banish? Interesting. They banished Watchful Gargoyle first. If they have some kind of Army of the Apocalypse. Alright, well, I am getting low on health. I could definitely die to something strange. I think I'll just give all opposing champions -5 attack and draw a card. I don't want to randomly die. I'm in a very good board position. This is another instance where you just have to consider the situation. So one of the best pieces of advice for new players playing Epic is that you want to spend your gold. You don't want to spend your gold first if you can. There are definitely exceptions to the rule. I think this is an example of one where if you're in a dominating position, you're really far ahead, and that means that it's okay to lose significant resources if it means reducing the risk. In this case, I'm less likely to get burned out by some kind of multiple flame strike or something like that. Alright, and we're going to lose a human here. Unfortunately, I may die to something like a rage, but that didn't happen. Now, my opponent has a lot of health because they have Inner Peace in hand. So they're about to get 10 more health, up to 36 probably. They're not ending the game anytime soon. It's probably just going to be Raxa. I mean, Drinker of Blood's tempting because I get to gain health back right away, but then I also have to stop these airborne attacks. I can't really do from this position. I can gain health, 4 health from Priest of Kalinor, so yeah. The thing is, I'm gaining 2, but I'm going to be taking some damage from. I guess I'm only taking the 3. Maybe it won't be relevant. Alright, we'll just play Drinker of Blood. I'm going to play it safe. Going to defeat the War Machine, and then I'm going to attack for 1, see what my opponent does. I always feel bad when the clock is getting low because you can plan around it, but it's just a bad experience for everyone. It doesn't feel good when you win the time, it doesn't feel good when your opponent loses the time. And of course it doesn't feel good when you lose the time. Alright, I guess they're reading. See, I'll just, well, let's not do that. I think we're just gonna make Summit, get in for here for a couple of 2s. Do some chip damage. I have plenty of blockers, so it'd be good to start clocking my opponent. Now the thing is, thinking about all these situations here is going to eat up my opponent's time a lot. Unfortunately. I'm gonna gain 4 health and pass here. Don't need that 2 damage very much. It's going to gain 10. Probably didn't need to play that. I could have passed first. Yeah, I'll just pass here. Like, this game's definitely going to end in time. Or they kill me. One of those 2 things. Like, if they have Deadly Raid here, then I just lose. How long have Epic Tournament matches gone? Yeah, I mean, the digital ones have been going on since May, so of last year. So I would say that the timer is in a pretty good place in my opinion. I think the timer mostly hurts newer players that are trying to figure out what cards do, whereas experienced players can play towards the clock or just they have an idea of what their game plan is on most turns. They don't need to analyze the board state a lot. One of the problems is that in Epic, the games can go very long if there's no timer, because there can just end up being a big back and forth. So if there's a big tournament with a lot of players, then the rounds can take a non-deterministic, very long amount of time. What's that? Tingling Vines and Mythic Monster. Well, I'll call their bluff. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it usually actually hasn't been a problem, but it's more that it can be a problem if there's a lot of people or if the tournaments are very large. I can figure out how to click over here, I guess. It's fine. I have so many gold. Yeah. I mean, I think if this game went long enough, there's a big chance I would actually win to drawing out. I mean, it's possible that I'll win this game, that I would win this game somewhat naturally by just attacking. My opponent has a lot of health. I'm not sure if that would happen. Looks like they're just going to concede. Yeah, I'm also going to be heading off as well. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, timeouts feel bad. Yeah, hunt it back. Alright. Well, anyway, so I'm going to be turning in for the night, but I'll be streaming again on Wednesday. Yeah. All right. It's my life.